Paint protection film, or PPF, is without a doubt the best way to protect your bike's paint because it's tough and invisible.
There's just one problem. It's really expensive, and the majority of that cost is just the labor of getting it installed. So I figured if I install it myself, it'll be far cheaper, because then all I will have to pay for is the material. The only issue is that I've never done it before, and I have no idea how easy or difficult it is, but I think it is a worthwhile skill to learn. So today I'm going to attempt exactly that and take you along for the ride so you can see what not to do.
Thank you to Monimoto for sponsoring this video.
I've wanted to play around with PPF for quite a while now, but I've never really had a reason to, and there are a lot of questions that I don't know the answers to.
Like, what film should I buy? How do I install it? Wet or dry? Do I need fancy equipment?
I mean, it's just a big sticker, right? So how hard could it be? The only similar thing I do have some experience with is vinyl wrapping a motorcycle. I'm not a pro, but I have put quite a few hours into it.
The first time I tried, I messed everything up. But after wrapping a 2000 Yamaha R1 from head to toe and practicing on a few more pieces over the years, I was able to wrap my own Yamaha MT-09 to a level I was relatively proud of.
But I'm not sure how similar PPF is going to be. It's probably safer to assume it's not similar at all. So over the last week, I've done some research to be able to buy everything I need. But now there's only one way to learn, by doing, which will involve a lot of messing up. Hence why I have way more material than I need, because I just plan on learning. I'm not actually aiming to PPF this entire bike. I'm probably just going to peel it off when I'm finished anyway.
That's because this is my 11-year-old BMW R1200 GS that has already done 68,000 kilometers without PPF. So let's be honest, the damage here is done.
So this is just my blank canvas for the day to practice.
And if you've been watching the challenge I'm doing with this GS, don't worry, PPF is not a part of that series.
This is the reason that I want to learn to PPF all of a sudden. This is my 2016 Yamaha R1, and right now it doesn't look like much. But when I'm finished with it, it should look fantastic. At least that's the plan. And hopefully it'll have fairings on it that I want to protect with PPF. So I'd rather practice on something strange like a GS than on my pride and joy. The part I struggled with most was choosing a film. When I searched for it, I mostly found companies offering to install it for me rather than sell me the film. And sometimes it felt like the product that those companies used was a heavily guarded secret. There are lots of options to choose from, but in the end I went with this, Avery Dennison Supreme PPF Extreme, because it had a catchy name, but mostly because it was the easiest to get my hands on. And I have used Avery Dennison vinyl in the past and it impressed me, so I trust them. It is a bit expensive. This was about $85 for 1 meter by 1.5 meters, but I'm sure it will be a bit cheaper in the US and Europe. It is, however, usually beneficial to spend a bit more on the material because it makes it easier to install and means it will last longer.
Plus, this film has all the fancy features, like a 10-year warranty, good transparency, self-healing, stain resistance, and basically all the marketing terms. If you have a popular bike, it looks like you can often buy pre-cut pieces, which will be the easiest approach.
But I want to be able to choose where I PPF, not just the areas that I can get pre-cut pieces.
Paint protection film, obviously. Alcohol to clean the surface, dish soap, a spray bottle for soapy water, a squeegee, a heat source, preferably a steamer, but I only have a heat gun, which should still work, and a sharp knife to trim the edges, like this scalpel set. According to Avery's instructions, here's the brief process. Wash the bike properly, clay bar the surface, wipe down the surface with alcohol, cut a piece of film bigger than the area you want to cover, spray the surface and film with soapy water solution, lay film down and squeegee water out from underneath. Use heat to conform the film, trim edges with a blade.
Sounds easy, right? So let's do it. If you care about protecting your bike's paint, you might also be interested in protecting it from getting stolen with a GPS tracker.
This is the Monimoto 9, and it's their most sophisticated device to date. Here's how it works. You simply hide the tracker on your bike somewhere a thief isn't likely to notice, which is easier than ever since it's now 40% smaller than their previous tracker.
There's no wiring required because it has a rechargeable battery via a USB-C cable and lasts up to an entire year.
Then you put this neat little key fob on your keys, which arms and disarms the tracker when you get on and off your bike. Now, if your bike moves without you, the Monimoto app will instantly alert you and allow you to track your bike globally because the tracker is embedded with an eSIM that uses LTE-M networks for just $49 per year.
Simple but effective. And of course, it's not limited to just bikes. So if you're interested, follow the link down in the description to learn more.
I washed the bike over the weekend, so the majority of the dirt is gone.
I'm going to take a strange approach. I think starting on a flat section is going to be easiest. And believe it or not, the flattest part of this motorcycle is the headlight of all places. So I'm going to start with that. And then hopefully I learn a little bit about the material and how it likes to behave. And then if I'm feeling confident, I'll move on to this nose piece, which is a very strange shape and is going to be tricky, or possibly parts of the tank.
I skipped the clay bar step since this isn't going to be permanent, but I did make sure to wipe down all the areas with alcohol to remove any oils, car shampoo and wax that may be on the surface. I then measured the area and cut out a rectangle that was about 5 centimeters wider than the headlight on each side, so we have some extra material to work with.
So right now, as the film stands, it looks terrible. It looks very plasticky, quite hard, almost brittle, but you can even see the lines back here where it's been folded. It doesn't look very good. But all that is the backing that the film itself is stuck to. I think the film is quite soft, so they've given it this harder backing to give it some support. It also has a protective film over the front of it. And I think that is my first question. Do I apply the film with its protective layer on, or do I remove it? I think I'm going to start with it on, even though I think it'll just move around once I get soapy water between it. But I'm going to start with that, see how it reacts rather than damage the film, because I have no idea.
Avery recommends 2 milliliters of soap with 1 liter of water. So I did some very complicated measurements with dish soap to create my soapy mixture, and we'll find out if it works soon enough. But this is where everything started to go wrong. I already had to remove that protective layer because it started moving around. I also managed to get the film stuck to itself, a great start. Then my bottle spray pattern was more like a pressure washer, so I had to adjust that to evenly coat both the bike and the film with my soapy solution, by which time I had way too much water. My first squeegee attempt just moved the film around, but after holding it down, I was able to get all the water out of the center of the film, but the edges were more difficult. I then tried adding some heat with the heat gun, and it definitely helped to get rid of some of the water on the edges and make it more tacky. But I got it to a point where the film started sticking to the headlight housing. So I figured the only way I could get the edges closer to the headlight was to start trimming the edges and then finish sticking them down. That technique seemed to work pretty well, allowing the remaining water to escape, so I could stick down the edges. But my cutting was horrendous. I couldn't pierce the film without stretching it. My cuts were jagged, and I managed to mess up a cut and got left with a flapping piece. Nevertheless, I decided to keep going rather than restart to keep learning, because at this point, I was still hopeful.
So if you didn't know it was there, you wouldn't see it, but if I told you about it and you looked a little bit closer, you would notice that it looks pretty bad. You can see a lot of my edges are very jagged because I'm doing the sawing motion with my scalpel. I'm not straight. There's a few flapping edges like this. There's one there, one here somewhere. Every time the lens changes, it sort of curves. There's excess material that's happening on the edge here too. There's some bubbling. So in the middle, it looks great. I got it to stick it looks good, you can't see it, but my edges need a lot of work. They look terrible. And to be honest, besides applying less soapy water, I don't really know how to improve because cutting this is proving to be very difficult.
So I peeled it off to start again, even though I didn't really know how to make it any better. This time I cut a slightly smaller piece and used a lot less soapy water, which definitely made the first part of getting the water out easier.
I love that part. That part is so satisfying, just getting it to stick nice and easily. But now we get to the part where I have to do the trimming, and that I just hate. I wish I could outsource that.
This time I tried to get the film as close to the edges as possible before making my cut, which was a little easier with less water. I also tried to have smooth knife movements rather than my sawing motion, but it didn't make them much straighter. And whether I used heat or no heat, it didn't seem to help.
So the verdict of take 2. It's a lot better, but I still wouldn't want it on my pride and joy. You can still see some jagged edges down here. On this side it's really bad because I did my sawing motion, but on this side, when I was still patient, it's a lot better. If you look for it, you can definitely see it and it's not great. I was also trying to use the hard side of the squeegee instead of the felt tip and trying to really squeeze it into the edges because you could probably get it between the gap of the headlight itself and the housing, so it would look a lot neater. The second attempt, better than the first attempt, still not great, so by my 69th attempt, I'll have it down. There's still areas like this that don't want to stick. It seems like there is some water underneath it, but you can't seem to get it out. So I'm going to move on to a different piece, leave this, see if it'll dry a bit in the next hour or so, and then we'll see how it goes. I've only been at this for about an hour now, and I'm starting to think that PPF isn't for me. It should be left to the professionals. But I also remember thinking the exact same thing about vinyl wrapping when I started, but I was forced to finish it, so I was forced to keep learning, and eventually it did get easier. So I'm hoping the same thing happens with this. So I'm not going to attempt the nose of the bike that is in extremely strange shape, because if I can't even manage the headlight, I'm definitely not going to be able to do that. So instead, I'm going to attempt this blue strip on the tank. I think it's still going to be difficult. There's grooves in here. There's going to be trimming around this tank pad here, which is going to be difficult, and the gas cap to consider, but I'm going to try it.
The irony is that the clip where I lost all hope is completely out of focus, even though I tested it beforehand. But the truth is that this video has been cursed since day one.
You see, I've actually been working on this video for over a month now, because everything that can go wrong has gone wrong. Even the simple process of buying the film took 2 weeks because the company messed up. It feels like I wasn't meant to make this video from the get-go.
So this was the moment where I realized I'd bitten off more than I could chew. The tank has a curve in it, which means the film bunches up on the edges of that curve, and nothing I tried could get it to lay flat. I cut out the gas cap because I didn't really know what else to do. I tried heat, I tried stretching, I tried repositioning the film, but ultimately it's a 10-minute out of focus clip of me giving up.
I'm going to try one last piece before I give up. I think I've been going about this the wrong way. You see, usually PPF is only applied to the vulnerable areas of the bike that could get damaged out on the road. So I'm going to try to PPF just the front half of the mudguard, and I'm going to try to do it in sections, because you can see it's basically already divided up into a few different pieces, and hopefully that'll make it easier.
First, I made sure to clean the area with alcohol and then went to work. I tried to be a little more forceful this time to drive out the water, and it seemed to be working. I even managed to get the film to conform without any wrinkles or bubbles, but for some reason, the hardest part was getting the edges to adhere. No matter what I did, they just wouldn't stick. I think the biggest problem is that this plastic mudguard is porous, so there's still water trapped underneath the film, even though it looks dry. So every time I squeegee an edge down, I drive more water to the edges, which stops it from sticking. Eventually, I went ahead and tried to trim the edges in any case, since I desperately need the practice. And although this was probably my best trimming yet, it's far from an acceptable standard.
Okay, I'm calling it here. Time of death, 10/13, the 17th of April, 2024. This is harder than I thought. Maybe you should just pay the money and get your bike done by a professional. What a bizarre concept. I don't think I've ever given up on a project before, but this one is probably the most difficult thing I've ever tried to learn in just a couple of days. So I'm officially giving up. I knew this piece would be tricky, but I thought it would be possible. With vinyl, you can sort of stretch it and pull it and use some heat and eventually get it to conform and look nice. But this, when I started to stretch it a bit too much, you can actually see the wrinkles in the material. It starts to damage the material and there's just no recovering from that. I did cut out the gas cap because basically it was the only thing I felt like I could do to make progress at the time. And as you can see, I didn't get much further than that. And we still have a long way to go. I mean, this is obviously my problem area, but then we still have to get it down there, and there's 2 bolts down there that I need to magically cut out. So this is where I'm going to leave it, unfortunately. On the plus side, the headlight's starting to stick better around the edges as the water dries up. So that's it. I underestimated PPF and overestimated my own abilities. To be honest, I considered just scrapping this video altogether, but this is reality. Sometimes you fail, and it looks like if I ever want to get my R1 PPF'd, I'm gonna have to take it to a professional. In hindsight, I probably should have started with a bike that had more areas to PPF that are suitable for a beginner to practice on. And I'm not really sure how good my specific film is for this use case. I know if I dedicated months to this, I could get a lot better, but even just accumulating a few hours over the course of a week has really frustrated me. But anyway, if you've ever played around with PPF, let me know how your experience went. And if you are a professional PPF installer, please teach me your ways, and I'll see you on the next ride.